I'm Dr. Tilini Pereira, I'm president of SLACE, and I would like to start the day with a beautiful quote by Chuck Swindoll, and it says, "We are all faced with a series of great opportunities brilliantly disguised as impossible situations." So as young scientists of Sri Lanka, or SLACE, as young scientists, we should find out these opportunities, and we have to make sure that we make use of them, and actually we should find the charcoal and turn it into diamonds. If we think about what's happening around us today, until we hit the rock bottom, we really didn't think of, until we ran out of opportunities, ran out of other things, we really didn't think of, cycling to work. And when you come to think of it, as scientists, we've been, doing research, trying to make the world a better place, doing our research on making the world a little greener, researching on, reducing the carbon footprint, reducing the, greenhouse gas emissions and all that. But it never occurred to us there's this simple solution which is sort of fantastic on the economy, fantastic on the environment, and fantastic on the health as well. So therefore, now since we have realized it, I think now it's the time to turn it around, make sure that we make use of this, and either economic crisis or not, cycling is a good thing to continue. So as SLACE, we have this initiative, Cycling to Work. We have divided it into 3 sessions sort of. First thing is we have a wonderful speaker with us today, Mr. Yasa Sevage. We've seen him going around educating people about cycling, the benefits, how to do it right and all that. So first let's get ourselves educated. Let's see what he has to teach us. Then after that, we'll be doing a small round around Colombo area. And this will be the first time I'll be also riding outside, like on the roads. So let's see what are the challenges we face. Then after that, then the scientific part is going to come in. We are going to analyze it. We are going to see what sort of challenges we face, and we are going to discuss and try to get the media in so we can educate, we can ask the people of the authorities or the universities, maybe the police and maybe other parties, to facilitate certain small things to make it sustainable, right? So that part we can do it out, we have to do it out loud, and as the young scientists of Sri Lanka. So that will be the third part. This I call it the first lap, a very small way we are trying to initiate. And thank you so much for coming here on a Sunday, and I think we have to start it someday anyway. So everyone is like, why Sunday morning? I was like, we have to start it someday, and the police agreed with me. They said Sunday is a good day to start it. So I would like to now invite Mr. Yasa Sevage, cycling and a sustainable advocate, founder of Swinger Cycling, to educate us with the benefits of cycling. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm lucky I have this picture from my good old days of waiting for a bicycle when my father actually could afford it. This is this beautiful black BMX bike from Cycle Bazaar. I used to go passing after school and say, he was at that time a government servant, but he had actually retired from education. He was taking the government to courts for missing our education planning. Sri Lanka abolished the education planning unit in 1977. He was a planned educationist, really UNESCO, and this country hasn't had education planning since then. So now when we say what the problem is at the grassroots. We lack imagination, we lack creativity, we lack, as we said, problem solving capability. We have created a system by ourselves now. As a result, now we are suffering. So but we have a root cause problem. I think today is a part of the solution. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much. අපි මේක ඉන්ටරැක්ටිව් එකක් කරනවා. මොකද මේ බයිසිකල් කියන්නේ මේ රොකට් එකක් නෙමෙයිනේ. අපි ඔක්කොම පැදපු එකක්. ඒකින්ද you have views, I have views, arguments, discussion, debates. Bottom line, after this we will ride a bicycle. So that's the fun part. Oh, all types of questions are open. So my bicycle and ඉස්සෙල්ලා පොඩ්ඩක් background එකකින් එන්න. That's okay no? Yeah. Right. So you can use it. I can use this. Just click this, right? So we'll start with this thing called crisis, right? Okay. So it's a crisis and we are here, which means we are looking at solutions as you said. My background is also an absolute optimist. I think like you all, every opportunity has to be taken, and crisis or anything, today is the day. It can be rain or shine. There's a market for umbrellas, there's a market for ice cream, depends on the sun. Tomorrow is tomorrow. Tsunami, COVID, whatever. And when you realize you have zero control over 90% of the things in the world, then you can only control this moment. Project is working, we don't have a magic board, we're making it work. From now, there will be a power cut, we are gone. Then we ride bicycles. What else do we do? At some point, after being in corporate world, growth, drive, profit, P&L, balance sheet, you can't boil the ocean, so then you get simple and try to fix few things. So that's the outlook to this, right? So it doesn't mean we don't have problems. But when you look around, you and I, because we have a bit of influence, we can't think just do ape ekama karla inne ka asadharanai. That's why we are here together as a group, right? Otherwise, we can solve our own problem. So I guess that's why we're here, right? Because you and I can do something for at least one more household, one more person. So I guess that's the point, right? So a lot of confusion, a lot of people are suffering, struggling, goals, ඉතින් මොනවා කරන්නද ඉතින් අපි ඒකට සොලියුෂන් එකක් අපි හොයාගන්න ගම ෂෙයා කරන්න තමයි idea. Cycle can be a solution, and it has become a solution to me for many things. So a lot of people think what do you think I did in the morning today coming in the bicycle?
How many were riding?
So I came in a bicycle, right? You look outside, you see us cycling. We see you cycling. So if you saw me cycling, what do you think I was doing? Marketing, exactly. So that's a paradigm. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. So I'm actually consciously riding that bicycle because I'm driving a message. Because if you can ride that bicycle, you can ride any bicycle. Because people are thinking bicycles are expensive, difficult. So that is one thing. What else? I was exercising absolutely, so I have to, but I don't have to work out. So I've saved time a lot today. I don't have to worry about the gym. That means I have saved money, I have saved time.
Sustainability?
Yeah, okay, yes, I feel good because I know zero fuel. I know I'm not a problem every time I pass. That's a good feeling. Not a sense of arrogance, but you feel, I'm not really burning the $500 million. Hinga kala gain million $500. Mama, at least we are doing that was a good feeling. What else?
Health?
Huh?
Health?
Yeah. Hopefully health is not in my control. Tomorrow everything can happen. But at least fitness for sure. Anything else?
Commute?
Sorry? Yeah, I'm commuting, I'm getting out. I'm actually reading much. I read a lot on the bike. I'm on my audio book. So I have read the important book last week and now another book about releasing your family. So it's amazing what you can do when you understand how a bicycle can create opportunity for you, because it's a fun thing. It stops you everywhere. You're open. You are focused. You are not disturbed. I know the WhatsApps and all that comes and notifies, but you can you don't see the screen, and it really helps me to think, plan. So I don't know. You guys are thinkers. You are scientists. I guess you need those ideas. Einstein said, it's not a joke, it stimulates thoughts because you're open. You are away from, it's a unique thing, it's an individual thing, right? And we need that self-time. It's very difficult to find self-time. So anyways, those are some of the thoughts, and let's move. So I come from a few areas in my life. My thoughts come from, obviously, bicycles, books I read. I'm also in little business here and there, especially small business, things with purpose. And then of course I've been a banker, so I came to know how we created the problem. I was part of giving the first credit card in 98. Then Sri Lanka starts spending what they can't afford. Then we have a problem. Income minus expense, we have an issue, right? Sorry about it. Then we gave a loan to settle the card. Then people took a loan also. Okay. So I'm not going to talk about all of us, about strategy, country strategy, university strategy, this strategy, then we talk about strategy, execute, can you enjoy, because tomorrow is probably tomorrow, right? So all of this can be enjoyed, that's the whole point, right? I'm here for that. And the topic that is difficult for not to gather is change. A lot of people are suffering with inability to make the change. And I find that's because a lot of people haven't studied the subject of change. So if you have the time and energy someday, start reading about change and change management. Organic fertilizer was a great idea, but it failed in change management, fundamentally. Ability to drive change. And it's a lot of hard work. I guess the thought that you said today, starting here, it's going to finish tomorrow unless there's serious change management. Everything you said I've been trying to do for 10 years. And I'm still not done. Police, authorities, infrastructure, megapolis, cycling Sunday. So we've done a lot, but change is hard. And change is not going to give you results tomorrow. A bank is to be 10 years to change one bank's core of their outlook to business. So it's a long journey. But can you dedicate some time for something bigger? And then of course change a household. People are struggling to change income and expense. People are struggling to stop eating piti. They still eat malupang. They don't realize malupang is diesel. Malupang is dollars. Light is not light, it's diesel. How do I change? So I think I have a prashna theory. So my point is, I know it's nice, I can change, but it needs education. Just like you can, everybody can be a scientist if you go on YouTube, but then you need to learn it now. So change is subject you have to absolutely learn. And the world is struggling. So just to inspire you to do some work on it. So ex-banker, started as a clerk in the bank, failed my A-levels, HSBC, then took a conscious call and joined NDB. That's why Lanka University company බැහැලා ඉන්නකෝ නැත්තම් අපරාධ විදුසින් වගේ ඉස්කෝලේකට ගියම මෙහා පැත්තේ හැබැයි අර පොඩ පාරේ දාන බයිසිකල් පැත්තක ඉඳලා දැන් ඉතින් ඕන ලෙවල් එකකට බයින්න පුළුවන් ඕන නම් ඉතින් උඩ ලෙවල් එකේ chat එකක් දාන්න පුළුවන්. So that was really helpful. I fell in love with sales, so I'm a salesman, so I will sell. I have academy to do that, I train people. I have a marketing background because I believe, some say marketing is a problem, but marketing can be a solution. Then everything else is cycling. Spinner and all that, right? I left the bank and started Winkle because there was no technical focus on cycling, and if I didn't start that after a father, I would protect Winkle. So now, today I have a lady who's coming to work part-time, she's a mother. We have an ESOP graduate, he's a mechanic today there. Then there's another guy who's joining, who is in 3 months internship working in the Winkle. So I mean, it took a lot of work, because mechanics maximum 3 weeks. Then they will try to go overseas. So everything takes a bit of effort. So I changed 96 when Sri Lanka won the World Cup. I failed cricket. I remember at Royal College I took baseball. Baseball money can somebody was my son baseball. I think it's different. We change. You have to ask the question: what have I done to change? Have I done like radical change in my life? If not, you might talk here, but you might not make the best out of this opportunity. There's so much opportunity. There's opportunity in food, there's opportunity in consultancy, there's opportunity. Because contracting economy gives you more opportunity for small people like us. The big economy is growth, that's how the Pereiras and all these billionaires play. But contracting economy means you have to play in meaningful spaces. So, super. So anyways, as you go through change, so even the I said double click. So I started the bank. There also I changed. I became the first guy in sales. So that's how we put Sri Lanka in debt, which is basically the market leader. He said, buy now, pay later. And you took it seriously. And you stopped saving. Sorry about it. That's the politicians and lawyers blocking the hell. Bankers one way ticket to heaven. So, performed, I want to retire at 40. I was very clear. Then I will go to you have to have a goal. I want to retire at 40. I didn't know what happens after 40. So I left at 37 actually. So if you have big dreams, I don't know, that was a big dream. You can't think of retirement. I thought about it. Two buggers thought, that guy also thought. So we both left, I went to the top. I want to be a CEO of a bank. I went very close. I could have hung around. 37 ke tha park kitya Iran went to politics. So other than that, just there. No CEO. I could have become. But I thought that's enough. I left. A couple of guys who were around me, they also did well. Couple of them own Maseratis and I own bicycle. We are all happy. We are all happy. All happy. So when we were giving cars, that guy was collecting, calling you, Ado, give a punk, give a net, give a net. So he also became a star. He's in Wisconsin, he's in a Fortune 500 company. So yeah, if you can focus and change, things happen. So then I got into this bicycle. During the banking time, I thought, I watched a movie, I think Inconvenient Truth or something, and I saw my carbon footprint. Have you all calculated your carbon footprint? I mean, you don't have to calculate, but if you just think about it, we pollute big time. So Eka was my problem. So I got involved and thought I'll come down. So I started going to work in a bicycle in 2012 when nobody thought it was a good idea. Now I'm out is like New York, right? I'm the only man, I have a car park. In banking, to get a car park is politics. People kill for car park. Car park gives you like credibility. You're like now a player. Would you care like AK bicycle and out kachal godai. කොහොමද එහෙම කරන අපිට දෙන කාප්පක් මෙයා පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ නැහැ. So I used to take it to my office. HR had a problem. Can you take it like that? So all that's a good fun. So somewhere you have to start. So if you understand change, in 2012 I got it name a දිගටම යන්න බෑ. මේ තෙල් ගහලා ඒ කියන වාගේ exhaust එකලා හරිනම් කැපකිලා වාගේ කාර් එක ඇතුළටම නෙන්න ඕනේ. හරිනම් කාර් එකක exhaust has to come back to your car. My thinking. See, you're driving in your AC. You are happy. You're bloody exhaust. He's going out to the guy and he's a party in Minnesota. Polluted. So I didn't answer those questions because I had to be polite also. I said, what to do here? Inside is difficult, right? මසුල දීලා නැහැ ඔකේ හරි. ඒ පොලිසිය මිනිස්සුන්ට ඉන්නේ අද සූට් ගහලා මේ සෝ ඒක ඉම්පෝර්ටන්ට් ජොබ් කරන්න ගාඩි දාන්න නැතුව AC එකේ ගිහලා තමයි වැදගත් වැඩ කරන්නේ. ඒ විශ්කරන කාලෙම අපි කරපුවා ඔයගොල්ලෝ කරපුවා ඔක්කොම කරේ ඒකේ මේ පැරඩයිම් නේ ඔක්කොම බ්ලොක් මාස්. So by the way we should have a way much scientists I don't know you can do it. The exhaust should come back to you inside the car. Then you die. Don't kill us. You can have a kelima and not making mask to them hard. Or you should come to some place, you take it home and you dispose. Hell of a joke. You're bloody crap. And then, after climate change, bicycle, anyway, joke, right? But that's kind of mindset. There are also believing big goals. During the bank, next year I got a racing job because I was inquisitive. I came from educational background at home. My father told me just play. Exam results are not relevant, so I failed my levels. I had a lot of fun. But I was able to do crazy stupid things. So I bicycle and race. So I have never done a race. Before that on the foldable bicycle, exact 1 year I went to race. This is Sri Lanka's #1 race. This is the pro race. This is the ultimate race. This is called Gorilla. You can see he's in the army, navy, police, they are full time. Then I obviously did well in that race. I went in the first group up to Chilla. I didn't even know half day this goes to Kutla from Maharagan, 145 kilometers. Sometimes you and I might have capabilities, our lungs, our heart and our endurance system might be by birth made to be a marathoner, but because you were a scientist all your life, you never ran, you don't know the machine is great. Or you look from outside, Mama, Eliam Balan, I can't fit now. Today, you might have DNA level. Some people have 7-liter hearts by birth. They are made to win Olympics, but they won't know. So maybe this is also a time when things are, you try things out you never tried before, then you never know. So I didn't know I could race because I have been a Podikara bicycle, padala. I've got conditions. So I started racing out of nowhere. That was never even planned. Originally was bike tour, so I got racing, I was serious. Then I had to study this subject because I had to race. I didn't have the age advantage or the time. Full time I can't race now. Then you learn. Just like you as scientists, I studied cycling. And I am a continuous student of cycling. So that's the difference. I hope this inspires you. I know there are people who are scientific, obviously all of you. Which means you'll go to the science of a bike and I think you can do a lot more. to solve the problem and maybe take this to another level. I'm very excited with what we're trying to start today. It's very small. That's how it starts. But you all understand a bit of nuts and bolts and how this works and how can we work. So I hope I'm happy to be part of this and always with you in this journey. Simple things is it's a beautiful thing on a bike. I mean, unbelievable. This is Himalaya. I'm the only person I think in this part of the world who ever done this. Leh to Manali on a bike. Crazy, but you can't do this on a car. Impossible. So it can take you places. It's done wonders for me. So in summary, I'm a banker who went to bicycles and I've been able to drive a conversation. Nobody calls me for banking advice now. She called me for say, as bicycle. How did that happen? 4 years ago, 100% banking. That's as card, that's as script again, that's as loan, that's as dollars, another. It kept call for that. So that's also a bit about brand and how you can change your direction and play a different role. Here, Taragale, bicycle, open bicycle, related. So never come to business. It was never a plan. Alright, so technically, Winkle was a problem. If you want to start a Winkle, I'll be happiest to help. If you want to help our Winkle, please come. So that's the Winkle, which is running since 2014 and it's a small business now. It's a sustainable business and it's profitable. In fact, I yesterday went and washed bikes because our team can't handle it. This crisis has created unprecedented opportunity. Bicycle 45 we can't handle it. We are giving 5 days, 6 days to service it. Not bad, yeah. So this works. You will see a bit of science in it, you will see biomechanics in it. That's okay. So I had a cafe also with spinner, I stopped it. Okay. Madhivara Kibula.
So I is this in
This is in Kibula. You know the Japan friendship? Turn right, up Tamazuru. Drop in when you're passing by. You want to fix a bike? We used to during COVID even pick bikes from around the country. I mean, it's opportunity, Masa. We were all this time airline idea. Then we realized, you know what? And then we got along with the delivery company and 500 rupees you pick and drop. Just sometimes you just don't see opportunity. You just have to. So Manjanakoto became a hit when the cafe was there. With COVID, I had to close it. I'm not good in food. It was a hobby thing, and I gave it to Sushi Kai. They are running it now, just the Japanese. But if you want to do superfood, you got to unleash the Manjanakoto opportunity. I have a rent paid in one golf face waiting to start that there, but times are challenge. So yeah, they were unwicking of course, but Manjanakoto bicycle pad. Unki nahi na me. අපි පටන් ගත්තා. දැන් අපිට කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ අඬලා කියනවා මඤ්ඤොක කන්න කියලා. එහෙම කන්න බෑ. ඒක කන්න වෙනවා බස්. There's a bit of anger. Okay, so that's it. So goals are also important. So I had a very clear goal. I think all of us at a different level in your life now. But if you go down, I'm not going to tell a young kid who's 19, don't go for a motorcycle. Come on. තරුණ මේ කොල්ලෙක්ට motorcycle එක කරන් කෙල්ලෙක් එක්ක ගිහිල්ලා ෆිල්ම් එකක් බලන ඒ ඩ්‍රීම් එක දෙන්න ඕනේ. අපි මේ ඇවිල්ලා දැන් බණ කියනවා බයිසිකල් පදින්න කියලා. ඒක කරන්න එපා. මම කියන්නේ මේ ඇවිල්ලා මේ අර මේ paranoid social activism තියෙන්නේ. No cars එහෙම බෑ. That be realistic. මේක $4,000 කට අඩු රටක්. මිනිස්සුන්ට තියෙනවා dreams. මිනිස්සු ආසයි ක්‍රිකට් මැච් එකක් බලන්න. අපි මාරසයි බොණ්ඩ අන්න බොනවා. මචං. Because it's up. Last week cricket. We are an island nation. We want a nice few of us will solve the problem. So at At least the others can live happily and independently. So basically, that I bought a car every year because I want to be a CEO of the bank. Plus, I want to retire. So all material goals. Then you have to buy a big car when you are boss in the bank. Then 2012, I bought the last hybrid, and I still have it. I haven't bought a car since then. So I bought the first hybrid SUV to Sri Lanka. $10,000. Yeah, it's a Lexus hybrid. That was the world's first hybrid SUV. ඒ කාලේ ජනාධිපතිතුමා මෝටාවේ අඩු කරා ටැක්ස්. කරලා කිව්වා හයිබ්‍රිඩ් ගේන්න. නැව එනකොට ටැක්ස් වැඩි කරා. ඊට පස්සේ ඒක තමයි පොලිසිය. right? ඒක තාම තියන්නේ ඉන්නවා. But I don't drive for 5 years. I don't have license. Unless it's a family trip or something. So that's my life. I like to work. That means I read. I hydrate. I'm very bad at drinking water, so I usually drink water slow. I can work from anywhere. Given the choice, picking at it, for my own. It's okay. Now the plan is to discuss about bicycles. Up to now, any thoughts, views, ideas? Then we'll talk about bicycle. I'm sure you can agree on everything I said.
We have a lot of questions.
You have a lot of questions. Shall we start with the questions? So what are the questions you have? Enna maja?
I have a lot of questions. You said you have to do it like that.
Yeah.
That's the secretary place.
So from overall paradigm point, I am on the hashtag called zero fuel. Now zero fuel doesn't mean you don't need, but zero fuel means working from home, carpooling, all that stuff, right? Public transport. We have to solve the bigger problem. No? I mean, if we solve the public transport problem today, we would have done a lot of things. Even I lost the plot. I was high on highways. I thought highway a big deal. A bank mindset. Pasadama theorune. The hell of it doing masa corporate salliyen naha. It's like how do we make money? So if you're an entrepreneur, අල්ලන්නේ මේක රෙන්ට් කරන්න කොහොමද කියලා නෑ. දවල් මේක free නම් you have to create income, right? You have to be income generating. Okay, salli. So I think we have to think broadly. We can influence a lot, but in the meantime, bicycle is a nice piece that can create a conversation. It's a change maker. But a mother trying to drop 2 kids in the morning can't ride a bicycle. A lady who's nice interested in a sari, come on, let her come nicely. But the husband could ride a bicycle and save the fuel for her. If a man mother wants AC and a car, that fucker should be shot for 5 kilometers. Minister have to go to war. Now the men have to go to war and the women will come and support. Now my wife, I have 7 bikes at home. I used to have 100 bikes at Spinner some time ago. Now my wife is the cycling queen. She has seen everything about cycling. She is there because she doesn't worry about a complexion and all that. But crisis in the onna years my bicycle best. But when she got in, she's like hardcore. Helmet done, like I. She doesn't want to mess up. That's her way of doing it. That's her way of doing it, man. But if you think it's a battle, I think men have less work now. Men are mostly idling and wasting time. Come on, and into it. Women from morning, the women I know up at 4 o'clock, kids, food, there's no time to idle and watch 21st Amendment. They are actually working. I don't know, is that true? Is that scientifically proven? Generally. So men has to go out of the way and do something significant right now, save the fuel for the country and the mothers and the kids.
Now we have come to that point.
Huh?
No? We have sort of come to
We
that
have
point.
to think like that now. If you ask the question, in a family, who can do what right now as a team, as a country, what can we do? Anyway, those are the thoughts. Hari, shoot, answer. Prashna saha uttara.
Just now you sort of you have chosen this to ride bikes and not use the car often. There must be a lot of challenges. I don't know whether you are going to discuss it in the next part.
I'm open to discuss all challenges. 10 years, so I understand
What is like the biggest challenge you faced and how did you sort of overcome? And what was the help did you sort of when you make, let's say you told somebody to solve it, did they really help you?
So I mean, it's a stage in life that you are, which I can't influence. See, if you're currently having a crisis, you've got a mom at home who's got to be rushed to hospital all the time, you're running, that's, you know that. and you can't use a bicycle in your life right now, you're a big baller and somehow full load. If you're a bachelor and if you are getting frustrated, you are feeling the 500 rupees, you feel the 250 chicken cam and 950, then what a problem. But අද ලංකාව ඕනතරම් ඉන්න රුපියල් 1000ක් පෙට්‍රල් ගහලා කිසි කරදරයක් දුවන්න පුළුවන් අය. ඒක අතත් බයිසිකල් පදින්න කරදර කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ කියන්නේ. බේර ගන්න කියලා බයිසිකල් පදින්න ඕනේ නෑනේ. So අපි බලන්න අපි ලයිෆ් එකේ ජෙනුවින්ලි කොතනද ඉන්නේ කියන තැනයි. ඉතින් ඒක if you have a pain you will do something. If you have no pain, so මෙච්චර කාල මේක ආවේ නැත්තේ මේ රුපියල් 500ට පෙට්‍රල් ගියේ ඉන්න නාවේ මේ ඩිස්කෂන් එක ආවේ අදනේ. Generally, the change makers are a small group who proactively දෙකම තිබ්බට එක අතක් වැඩ කරේ නැත්නම් අනිත් අත වැඩ කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා අනිත් අතෙන් ලියන්න පුරුදු වෙන්නේ නැහැ නේ. අද ඔක්කොම වැඩ නවත්තලා. මේක ගියාම තමයි අපි ඊළඟ so that is the usual change game, right? Anger, resistance, adaptation or change management එක. So you have to ask, do you need this? Otherwise, you are here because of that. So ඒක තමයි ඉස්සෙල්ලා it's a self judge, and then if you have a problem you look for solution. If you are upset, so that's our first step. Otherwise it's difficult to, but all my friends who are ඉස්සරින් නම් කතා හිතපු කොයි දැන් එනවා one by one සයසලවට. Some of them have sold the bikes also. තිබ්බේ දැන් ගන්න බෑ, it's very expensive. So challenges, if you ask, is that as an institution when you try to change we have to give room for people to figure out their own reason for doing it. Otherwise, as I said, rally එකක් කරලා fun කරලා selfie එකක් ගහලා පින්තූරයක් ගහලා badge ගහලා කරනවා ඒක it's a day. That's also a good thing. But from that, how do you keep the conversations going? And each one will have their own pain points. If the distance is too much, I haven't ridden a bicycle. Safety. What if it rains? Accidents. Puncture on the road. If you're a lady, you have 3-wheel mallikli whistle එකක් එහෙම ගහයිද? But you're like university, you know how to handle those. You go have a whistle there. I don't know. So, see, I mean, you life ne, එහෙම ටිකක් තියෙනවා.
But you said you were a banker when you started cycling,
Yeah.
right? So you had to wear that proper attire.
Yes, so we'll come to that. Okay, we'll come to the technical side of the bike soon.
Let's do that here.
Shall we do that? Then
Yeah,
we'll come to the
yeah.
real social
Questions. Okay.
discussion. Come on, let's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just helping you in the decision when you're buying a bike, because I think Podikala we get a marker bicycle at that, which is also okay. But now if you're consciously trying to come into this, it has to help you in what you're trying to do, right? So I've got a couple of videos you can check on Spinner Cycling YouTube channel. So 7 questions. So I've also gone through a whole process of buying bicycles. I obviously went overseas because Sri Lanka didn't have the technical knowledge. Because I was a banker, like you are a scientist, I want a logical way of saying, okay, I want to ride a bike, so how do we do this? ලංකාවේ තිබ්බ ඔක්කොම පොඩි ෂොප් මස කිසි ලොජික් කියන්නේ තියෙන එක විගුණනවා මම ආපු ප්‍රශ්න වලට උත්තර දෙන්න බෑ. So my first foldable bike, I actually went to Malaysia to buy it. Because I studied about Dr. Dahon, who was the thinker behind folding bikes. That was innovation at that time. So that was number 1 brand in folding, so I could bring it today. So I went to really find out about it and really do that. So I did my research. And then I bought my racing bike also in Singapore because Sri Lanka couldn't help me. I understood the thinking behind it. Of course, most of my bikes I bought overseas. Not because of anything, I have to learn the whole thing about this whole thing. So I come from a bit of thought around it. So 7 questions. What's your goal? Is it to shop? Is it to commute? Is it for fitness? In case of I don't know, what is your goal, right? That's an important question. Where will you actually ride it? වාගේ තියෙන්නේ දැන් කුහල පැත්තේ නම් කඳු තියෙනවා චුට්ටක් ups and downs. මේ හරිය නම් pure pan flat. ඊට අමතරව gravelද, කැඩිච්ච පාරවල්ද මොන වගේද? වරේලියද? කොහෙද? අනුරාධපුරේද? කොහේ වගේ මේකේ surface එක මොන වගේ තැනකද පදිවි කියන එක. Then with that you have to figure out what's the type of bicycle that can suit you. So today also you will see few types of bikes when we go around. Now that is called a standard bike. අපි කියන්නේ postman bike එක, මාළු bike එක. මේක තමයි සරලම bike එක ලංකාවේ. Right? ඒක මම පොඩ්ඩක් advance කරලා තියෙනවා because of my requirements. අර ඉස්සරහා තියෙන aerodynamic because I train a little bit for racing ඒක ඕනේ නැහැ. Apart from that, okay, half same up, but standard කියන්නේ ඕක. It's a steel bike. Right? And I saw there's a good selection today. I think somebody came in a race bike also. There's a lot of bikes. So what is the right bike for you, Kielagat? Is interesting, but the best bike is the bike at home ready one. Oh, යාළුවගේ ගෙදර තියෙන. ඒකේ තමයි මාත් පටන් ගත්තා. අලුත් ඒවා ගන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා if you have money buy best is to go around your friends. පස්වෙනි friend වෙනකොට බයිසිකල් එක අහන්න. ගරාජ් එක. ඒක අහන්න නැතුව අරන් එන්න. මොකද උපදින්නේ? මචං දෙන්නම් කියලා කියන nobody will ask me. That's the best. So yeah, ඒක තමයි කරන්නේ. මාත් පටන් ගත්තා.
Is there any place that we can get bikes for rent?
Yeah, spinner rents macam, but yeah, so I think you have also, I can see some have rented today.
Yeah, we rent.
Yeah,
We got through to Peter. And
Yeah, he has, and we have, but our bikes also must have given for bike tour. So a lot of, so we have bikes getting released to rent. You can rent to trial out, but if you could rent for a long time, it's not good. But just to try it out, you could rent. Spinner can rent. But now all bikes are on rent, so if you come back and they go and either get their, my advice is neighbor's bike or buy a bike, right? I try to tell to find what you have and work with it. If you're really buying, options are limited. We try to help us because bike price has gone up, supply is up, demand, crazy. I think people are asking for stupid prices. We are trying to keep it managed in the market by buying from the shops and saying keep this low, this is the price here, but I think when the supply is not there, that's a challenge. But Sri Lanka's bicycles, we just have to look around. Where you know what bicycle? Bank in the body card, savings accounts and bicycle. So there are bicycles. So here we come to that. So what's your budget? Okay. What's your budget? You might want to know about brands. A lot of people ask us to make one or the other. So that's an interesting question. Then very important, if you have the choice to get the right size. Because they can have, you know, then you won't enjoy. But this is one of the most efficient machines made in 1870s. Sewing machine, and these were the game changers. They still play the role. They were the first automations in the world that really changed the world. I don't know how you. The sector has totally changed because of the machine. So this still stays the same, and it has significant efficiency. But what the muscle system or you won't get the best out of it. So I'm good at that because at that point I was only certified biomechanics person in this part of the world. That's my specialty. So we can talk a lot about it. So bike size is the size of the frame size. The fit is how you adjust the bike to suit you. You might have back problems, you have knee problem. Ladies have longer legs. So we have different geometries body-wise, and a bicycle, how do you adjust it so it suits you for injury prevention and to enjoy, and also for speed. Okay, so we'll talk about it, right? So those are the 7 things, and this video you can find on YouTube also. So what's your goal? Ask that question, that's very important. What are you going to do with the bike? That's important. So can't show you, we'll go and see practically there are different types of bikes, right? So 2 major groups, there are road bikes and off-road bikes. අපි පොඩි කාලේ පදින්නේ අර mountain bike කියලා ගන්නේ අපි off-road. Because ඒක තමයි ලස්සන අය නේද? ඒක තමයි ලස්සන. ඒක තමයි කඩේ තියෙන්නේ. Tires ලොකු shocks තියෙන you know ගමේ පදින්නේ standard bike. ඒ ඇවිල්ලා මොකද ඒ බඩු ගෙනියන්න commute කරන්න යාපනය අනුරාධපුර ඒක. ඊළඟට පොඩි අයට අරන් දෙන්නේ අර ලස්සන bike. but මේ දෙකම අපේ purpose එකට හරියටම suit වෙන්නේ නැහැ. අපි බලන්න ඕනේ road bike. පාරේ පදින. අපි ගල් ගොඩවල් වල පදින්නේ නෙමෙයි නෑ. ඉතින් ඒක efficient වෙනවා. So අපි ඒකට කියන්නේ සාමාන්‍ය hybrid bike එකක් කියලා. It's a cross between a mountain big one and a road bike. That helps you for commuting on mostly tar or paved roads. And that bike should also be able to take a bit of gravel and pavement, right? So that's what the bike we are looking at, right? So if we have one of them, we will show you. So that's one. So shopping bike, so that's a mountain. What you see on the left side saying hybrid, that's the one. It has no shocks. Or just very light shocks. The shocks can be made. Shocks are for suspension, so you don't need it. But some light shocks helps, no shocks, no problem. Okay. Road bike, drop down handle, that's actually for speed. Because it's for aerodynamics. පැයට කිලෝමීටර් 35කටවත් පදින්න නැත්නම් ඒකේ බෙනිෆිට් එකක් නැහැ මචං. මොකද ඒක ලස්සනයි, it's good fun, but it's aerodynamic. You understand science, no? You have to create some momentum for you to get the benefits over maybe 2 hours. You will save about 2 minutes at a particular speed. So it's a sexy bike. We have a lot of that, but I think it's for that purpose. And yeah. And hi. So then there's a question about Bharat. Everybody bicycle දැක්කම උස්සලා තමයි බලන්නේ. Bharat දැක්කම. හරිද? ඒක පොඩ්ඩක් fallacy එකක්. දැන් මේ bicycle බාර වුණාට this moves. You know science නේ, better than physics. So තාර පාරේ මේක යනවා ටක් ගාලා යනවා මොකද? Because it's heavy also, if you give momentum it goes. So when you say Bharat, steel bikes tend to be a little bit more heavier. The lightest is carbon fiber. I don't know whether we have any. Was your carbon fiber? That was. With the MEMA, it's only the weight. There's nothing else, right? So we like to get an alloy bike, aluminium. Sri Lanka is out of alloy road bikes right now. Alloy is lighter, but steel is okay. The world was on steel. Now people are buying steel bikes. I ride a steel. So bicycle බර අඩු කර ගන්නකොට ඇඟේ බර අඩු කර ගන්න එක ලාභයි සමහරවිට. Some people come for that 2 kilograms must use pay 100,000 bucks. Carbon fiber. ඒක පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්දියා 40ක් කණ එක නවත්තනවා you can reduce. So it's how we look at it. But if you have all the money buy a $10,000 bike, no problem. So bikes are there from like average bike in 40,000 50,000 things we were with 25,000-30,000. All the way to 3.5-4 million you can buy. Not that there are diamonds in it. It's that the components are better, they are efficient, 10 grams lighter. Okay, so that's the story there. I'm not going to tell you about the parts of the bike. You can Google it and find out. More you know about your bike, it will be an experience for you because you know what the bike is doing. You guys are scientists, so you will find cause effect around it. I think you will be more interested and I think you will solve some problems. When you're buying a bike, you're also paying for the engine of the bike. So, engine of the bike is this part. So, frame is made, our brand frame whatever they only make the frame. Everything else are done by different suppliers. So, not on this bike, but here's another bike. Okay, we have a bike, one bike. So this part is the engine, the crank, the cassette or the freewheel, the brakes. So the company like Intel for computers, the company that does it is called Shimano. The majority of the world bikes engines are made by Shimano like Intel and AMD. So they are Japanese, they are unbelievable company, 150 plus years. So when you're buying a bike, while you look at the frame and all that, you have to pay a bit of attention to this because how to enjoy all that is based on how good this is. So this also has, moment you see Shimano, just like when you see Intel, you should be happy. Oh, I think I got a Shimano. Shimano doesn't make bikes, right? They only make this. But make it, grades. So my video shows different grades. Don't worry too much. At an entry level, you are not going to find fancy stuff. So this whole system can start from $100 to about $3,000. Purely based on efficiency, all that, right material and all. Anyway, always check whether these are in good working condition, and if you are interested, go to Shimano site, this is the video and understand. So they do the shifters, the brakes, the crank, the cassette and all that. Wheels by somebody else, tires by probably DSI or Kenda or somebody, Goodyear, everything else somebody else. Up your brand can make it. If you have end of the day all made in China. So this is the Taiwanese brand, which is great. They do good stuff.
Is it a hybrid?
This is a hybrid. This is a perfect bike for road. And by the way, I love this bike. We had about 30 of these for rentals. Work was amazing. So obviously, hard to get these now. If you do get your hands in, it's great. These bikes used to be about 35,000 because they bring from Japan. Japan bike කියලා જાතියක් නෑ. Bicycle ජපානයේ පැදලා මේ ගේනවා. ඒක ජපානයේ මිනිස්සු bicycle පැදලා විසිකලා දාලා යනවා. because they don't airports වල දානවා. I mean, so ඒවා containers වල ගෙනල්ලා ලංකාවේ හදලා සුද්ධ කරලා දෙනවා. Which is good. But the 35,000 has gone to 80, 100 now because there isn't any. So a bit of a premium is a little too much. But places in Cebu areas, they sell it's the shop by that, right? But any questions? So by the way, we talk about the seat height can be adjusted. Seat where it is can be adjusted. Yeah, this can go up and down. By the way, this can go down and up. So let's say you're here, you can go here, here. All those are adjustable, but what you can't adjust is the frame size. So you get the wrong suit size. But you won't realize, now that I told you, you'll understand the problem. Right? So
Seat is just has to be comfortable. No?
seat is a very personal thing. Even the most expensive seat might not suit you. But don't expect a bicycle seat to be as comfortable as your office cushion seat. So body mentally allow you to prepare. I don't think you all do glute exercises, no? So you have to strengthen this. Bicycle in Nagagamam, don't expect heaven and Alice in Wonderland. This machine, good karan way, kapata pedala, apo make a back, you to so there's a bit of work you have to also prepare. You do a bit of basic routine. Physical work that you do will help you enjoy the bike. After it's okay, like anything else, right? Just because you run and walk doesn't mean your muscles are ready for cycling, because it engages a different muscle system, and everything takes about a week or two, and then you feel the. So there's a bit of period that you need to go through, right? So I spoke about that. Then let's come to brands. So there are used bikes. So obviously when you're buying a used bike, ensure that you put all the gears, ride it a bit, put a bit of pressure, because sometimes you're never tension springs get the but after you feel it's okay, then go for it. It's okay. There's can happen, you can break no. You can bring it, friend can bring it. These are not very expensive. But ensure you put all the gears, try it out, ride and see when it feels good, because you have no assurance of a warranty or anything. Yeah? Okay, so that's on used bikes. Then brands. Good brands here, let's say this brand. A lot of people say good brands because those brands are seen in the big races in the world. You get it? Like in Formula 1, there are other oils also. No? We think Shell is a good oil because branding, right? So these are generally promoted to races like Tour de France. They were that kind of a good brand. There are other brands that people just don't know. So good thing about these brands are, you know, they are well tested. So example, if a brand goes to US, you can't play around because there's consumer protection. These are tested, recalls, reject bikes. So either a China to Sri Lanka, you can test testing protocol, you are not sure. Any brand that is being exported to UK or US means lawsuits. You will find in the US consumer site recalls, no chance. So that's the benefit of going and looking for one of those. So how do you know it's a good brand? Look at Tour de France type of brands. Because those are the brands that have come to the world forum, right? So apart from that,
So what is the usual food brand that
sorry,
You can find it here.
sorry?
that you can find in Sri Lanka? Like
Yeah, so Sri Lanka has a couple of shops. No one is a direct agent, which is a sad part. Some of them claim, but they're not. Because if you're a direct agent, your agents should be listed in your website. I'm not saying that's good or bad, but no one else. For example, Retil Biomechanics Lab, I'm a direct link to Retil USA. That means you are credible and you're directly linked, right? So we are like lead agencies. So a couple of guys, one guy has a brand called Bianchi here for a long time, so they had a relationship. I'm not sure how they moved it down, but they have it. Then even Giant, We have a couple of guys who are doing it. It's available in Bambalapitiya, there's a place called Velo, right? So, but my question is, they are not directly bringing from Giant. Okay? But if you buy, if that bike can be registered for warranty in the Giant site, let us. That's all that matters. Then, no, everybody else being from Singapore, there isn't like a brand representative here. Some guys have brought a brand called Merida. They're okay. That's in 5 roads. I'll give you all the details of the shops, right?
So if we really have to look at that part, like what you said, that very engine. So like if the brand is like
Yeah, but actually that doesn't really matter. If you're buying an entry bike, but let's say you're going to $5,000, you're getting to a more serious level, then this matters because especially carbon fiber. The nature welding, you all know welding can't go majorly wrong. But carbon fiber කියන එක එළියෙන් තියෙන එක නෙමෙයි ඇතුලේ. ඒකේ construct එක පොළ හදලා තියෙන එක ටෙස්ට් කරලා එළියෙන් එක wafers වගේ තිබ්බට ඇතුලේ මුකුත් නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. That's when the brand really matters. Really. For alloy bike,
so hybrid bike.
alloy I don't worry too much. No issue at all. And then you have the local guys. So you have BSI, you have Lumala, and you have Tomahawk. So they also are credible, they've done this for many years. But they are entry level basic bikes. Don't expect it to be the ultimate because they don't have customers like you and me who are like paranoid, they are giving you mostly things, outstations, mass market bikes. What we have done is we pick a couple of bikes that are export driven by them, and because of this current challenge, we got it out for commuting. Yeah. අර ඔයගොල්ලෝ පොඩි කාලේ ගත්ත Chinese bike එකේ quality එක අද නැහැ. Like everything else in life. They guys deteriorate. You have to check and buy. So that's the local guys. And they're okay. It's a good place to start. So that's about the international brands and local brands. Up to now, anything to ask? Any question?
Been asking.
Yeah, okay, as you go. So these are 7 things we talk about. Then my topic, which is where I come from, sizing, figuring out what's the right size. So I call getting the right size is like a wedding. That's why you have to spend your money and buy a bike. Oops. So that's bike sizing. And the bike fit is personalizing the bike to you. And the bike fit could change over years. So let's say your flexibility is only up to here today, but through yoga, all that you are more flexible. The way you can sit on the bike changes, and the way you enjoy it changes, your speed changes. So example, you can generate power, right? This is the muscle system. This is the biggest muscle you use in cycling. A lot of people use this. But let's say you get stronger, you can get a better position. So size of the gut sitting at a very but marriage will work over time. And then you can improve. There will be accidents, there will be injuries. So example, you can stay like this, if you have back pain, you can't, then you have to adjust. So the fit is evolving. Fit is evolving, the size you can't make a mistake. But you can't, but try not to. And it's easy not to do that. Let me show you how. So when you're buying a bike, 2 key measurements, there's a lot of measurements. The 2 key measurements are your height and your leg length. Alright? So a lot of people go by height, but you know heights and leg lengths are very different. Women have longer legs, some men have all disproportionate same height, right? So the same height, 2 people might not fit well on the same bike. So you have to look at your, so how you do is you take a book and just put a bit of pressure and measure your inseam. Not the way you do for a trouser. You're just sitting on a bike, you put a pressure down, get to a wall, 8 inches apart and you measure. And you measure height. Without a helmet, without shoes, right? 2 measurements will help you to figure out the size because there are sizing charts on the internet. I have also shared in the video for a road bike what are the charts. So here I'm going to tell you roughly what's the size of the bike. So when you say size, what we generally mean from the center of the crank, the size. You get it? So a larger frame, it will be higher. Understood, right? So some will say small, medium, large. So you have the chart, then you know what you're looking for. You can go to the shop or wherever you go online or tell your friend wherever in the country, look for this size frame. But remember, brand to brand, it can change. Now, memo bike here to some are some are memo. So it's a rough guide. X brand size won't map exactly to a Y brand size. But when you start somewhere, start with knowing these two measurements in your life. You know height. Now you know in sync, right? Two things. And then you just do a bit of research. You get it, right? So that is the sizing part. But I'll tell you an easy way to do it. So generally you get on a bike. Now if you go to the shop, try to get on the bike. Another rough guide is, can you put about 3 fingers between your crotch and the top tube. That tells you, okay, Vadu. If this is coming all the way here, you know it's too big. If it's right here, it's good for your kid. So that's our feel, right? It was a Nagala Bhagi kid. That means this is too long. We call it the range. Ideally, when you sit and ride, you should have a bent elbow and you should be very comfortable. And even on a bike ride, we don't hold this part. We keep this very relaxed. We stay on our core. Core again in there. If your core is not strong, adjust the bike so you can nicely have a calm bike. If you're slow, that's okay. More aerodynamic, racing bike, you become smaller, your drag coefficient, scientific term, reduces. Same effort, you go faster. That's why the bike EKM has those drop-down bars. The naked on the higher bike, now you are going faster, just like a jet. But you get a higher bike. So, but whole idea is be comfortable. Comfortable. Not like this, not like that. And this is very sweet. Got it? Got it? Got it? So that's called standover height. Standover height. So I've covered 7 things. When you say bike fit, what we do at Spinner, we have a specific lab. We do biomechanics also, that's a bit on the high side. So we do a 3D mapping of you and all that, and then go to millimeter to ensure that we know exactly what's happening on the road inside. We map it. Other option we do is a basic, sit you there and see whether you're okay. For that we look at your core strength, your back strength, your flexibility, injuries, and then we tell you, okay, let's adjust this and set you up. Actually that's our core. That's our technical contribution to cycling. A lot of people come from injuries, issues, back pain, around here, so we help on that. We are not doctors, but we get how biomechanics of cycling works and to optimize you to enjoy and prevent injuries. But the common sense is common sense. So when I have a video on YouTube, Samanya bike when you're on the seat, you have to, at the bottom, you have to have a slight angle, not fully straight, not fully bent. So it's like a pretty slight angle, which is generally measured through data, but you yourself can adjust it accordingly. Whole idea is, when you're on here, there's zero power. Today we must actually remember at this moment. And power comes when you come to 1 o'clock, right? Your muscles engage at 1 o'clock, right? So at 1 o'clock, what muscle is at play? What muscle are you using? What muscle you should be using?
High.
Yeah, a lot of people think calf, all that, but it's glute. This is your biggest muscle. You're like a horse. It won't engage. Consciously, you should engage this muscle. Boom. Even racing, that's where bang, bang, bang. It's like a piston. But knowing that, you know this muscle engages, even till 3 o'clock this guy is working. And then, the pressure is muscle system, when you understand, bike starts moving and you become fluent. Because has already started working. So the momentum is going and you just have to time nicely keep it moving. මේ බයික් එකේ සමහර pedal stroke එක මිස් කරලා පදින්න පුළුවන්. ඒක තවත් rest වෙනවා. How you we are here, but otherwise you can count down. We are not in it. Sweat එක what can I do with sweat කියලා ඉතින් postman have you seen sweating හති දාගෙන මල්ලි මාරාවෙන් වෙනවා මේ ඩියුටි එක ගන්නකො මට සමාහන් ටිකක් දෙන්න කියන්නේ නෑනේ. hina වෙලා කතා කරලා ලියුම දීලා. ඒ ලස්සන මොකද දන්නේ right where's that blue color thing. So if you ask the question, it's about economy of cycling, how to economically pedal. And you understand science, and you will get a better question to know like copy system එක muscle system එක. වාගේ ස්පීඩ් එකට පැද්දොත් you won't sweat, especially before 7 a.m. in the morning. And there's always wind. And bicycle එක පරිදි ඇවිදිනවා වගේ නෙමෙයි. අවු ඇවිදිනකොට sun on you, here you get wind. So if you're economically cycling, there's a video online I'll send you. You can actually manage it. Logic and network anything you're just doing it with no science to it. And, so that's one thing. I told you about the pedal position, I told you about the pedal. And the whole idea, how many of you have strong force? Strong. Strong karagata anagate hoda.
How do you know I have a stroke?
That's the thing you have to figure out. Can you do a plank?
Yeah.
Like patience.
So whether you have or not, work on it daily. So that's the plan. So try to have breakfast like this. I'm joking. Read a book. Correct. Because a lot of your body relies on the core, right? You stay. Exercise body. So core means front, sides, back. You know the whole system. You have to strengthen. Because pedal stroke has a lot of reliance on the core. Because you think this is what's working now. How do you exercise daily?
I try to.
I run.
Hey, bicycle Science name. What science is this? Change. So you're not exercising because you don't have time, right? You can't ask that, you know that's a bad answer. So even if you stand somewhere, lift your leg up like this, that's co-exercise. Now don't ask me when to do it. You can look at car gears, key gears. People laugh at you. Security guy will try to arrest you. But exercise karana mein gym mein no kiya na mujhe upset hai.
We can cycle.
You can cycle. My point is the whole day. I mean, it's a paradigm. So if you can actually exercise the whole day. Whole day. If you stand proper exercise, heels, cardios, first of all, book line color. I mean, if you want to do something, there are 100 ways of doing it. And if you just do few things, breathe, you can stand and do yoga. You don't need gym, it's all mental blocks to kiya. My point is, stronger core, better cycling. And a bit of glute exercise, you can strengthen, you can do some lifts. Only thing cycling won't strengthen your upper body. It won't, so that's why you can do some push-ups and some few things in between that, just to keep it going. Anything else as questions? So we talked about sweat a bit. So if you economically ride,
It's on that, like, what do you mean by economical riding? Riding it as one pace, or what do you mean?
yeah. So first economical riding is if you understood your surface and terrain. That means you have understood the map and the match. Secondly, if you have done enough work with the right bike, that means you are not carrying the wrong machine into the wrong challenge. Thirdly, you have also done a bit of work and you know what's happening with the bike and you. And then you use your muscles economically.
Consciously.
Consciously.
The muscle.
Yes. Then also you understand, unlike in a car, in a bike, you will always feel the little ups and the little downs. So you have to benefit from all the downs. Even a small down, when you know you have to let it go and relax and enjoy. You've done hard work. Cycling is that, you have done hard work to come to then never car again. And let it go, enjoy. So example, this stretch, before we go for a Kultu at Rahima, my favorite restaurant. You know that? Paratha. I count the kilo for I am for it 100%. VIP service එකකට
You're
ගියා.
getting some snacks though. I don't know.
ඉතින් දැන් මෙතනින් පටන් ගත්තොත්
I don't know. I thought.
මෙතනින් පටන් ගත්තොත් මේක යන down එක. You don't realize it. If you just get a bit of momentum and let it go all the way. Prima entrance. There's might give a distraction there. Sorry. There's the lady will give some money. Yeah, all that is part of the equation. But it's a good life. You go all the way, see the world, and go and eat paratha.
Which side should we take on?
Left. So if this is the road, we are always on the left. And don't let anyone squeeze in between. So, motorcycle එකක් යන්න තියලා තියාගෙන යන්න. Not that they go, but so that you only worry about one side of the road. So we'll come to road safety in a minute. That's a big one. Anything else? So that's what I mean by economy. Yeah, so even then, we know all the trees on the road. So even if we stop now, color lights down, we stop near a tree. So there's heaven and shade. That part of we know clouds. The beauty of being in nature is about knowing what you work with. Bus stops. So example, if that's a color light, it's stupid to go to the red light and wait in the sun exposed. You can wait that this road is beautiful, is all. So it's a game you play, it's fun, it's exciting because you are trying to work with what you have.
What do you think about listening to sort of, you said you were listening
Yes,
to
100% don't do it, but I do.
Don't do it.
So our movies generally for 10 years I did without it. Idea is 0. Then if you really have to, 1, this is open. Apple, I spend with my earpods actually on the bike because it has a transparency. Because it has a mode that it can hear the road sounds. I don't know whether other earpods have it, but Apple Pro otherwise you have to keep it because it will come to safety. It's very important to listen because that's the benefit of being on a bike. So we have less accidents than vehicles, I tell you what.
I always prefer to listen to music.
Yeah, so you might have to set it to 1.
Yeah.
I find that when I'm listening to that, this your reaction time goes down actually.
I have no doubt. So I won't advise it, I totally agree. The best thing is I've ridden around Sri Lanka 5 times, across the country 2 times. I've never listened to anything except the smell, the perfume, so it's amazing experience if you keep all your senses open. But I realize I could read now and I am really. So don't take my advice. Just keep your ears open. Shall we talk about safety? Okay. So roads are safe. I'm alive. Tomorrow is not relevant now. 10 years from now. 10 years. Every road in the country I've ridden. I've ridden in Singapore, I've ridden in some parts of the world also. Sri Lanka doesn't have a battle between cyclists and motorists, like in London, like in Melbourne. Melbourne, there's a battle. There is a activism. Cyclists are taking paths, cycling path, that's not fair, we need roads, these buggers are blocking. Other side said motorists are battle. Thermite activism. Lanka, they are not. Because then people cut on you in their country. There will be a bugger to cyclists. So cyclists will do this and go. Cycling project.
Motorcycles sort of start doing it before start doing it, right?
I think
Motorcycles are our friends.
Really?
That is also the confidence. This is my perspective.
But we are lifestyle.
Yeah, my perspective. But it's a view you will have to take. I mean, we don't have an airbag, we don't have a seat belt. Fact. So, any mistake, you will obviously be impacted. In a car, you will get away. So that's the fact we all know. Then you have to ask the question, there are 4 million motorcycles on the road. A motorcycle is a 2-wheel vehicle faster than us, and they can't see and hear as much as we could. So then, comparatively, we are 10 times more safer than a motorcycle. So if majority of Sri Lankans are traveling on that mode of transport, are you okay to be part of that? It's the question you have. With better visibility, better audibility, better communicability. Example, if a Christ is by mistake or better, යාගේ කාර් එකකට හැප් වෙනවා දන්නේ because you are on the screen it won't show you it will knock you but if somebody comes close to you you know you can talk there's a lot of conversation and people can hear buses can hear cars probably shout actual problem is cars because they are using audio book in the car and talking to a friend and trying to solve business problems and family problems or anyway. So the fact that you can see, you can hear, you can see a light coming, you can see a bus coming, you can hear it, gives you a lot of freedom and you have a lot of control even to get a stop without the pavement. When in doubt, stop. When in doubt, stop. So the other video I was saying to you is, even there's a puddle, go through the puddle. Try to move here, there, unnecessary. If you are uncomfortable as a car and you think you have to overtake, get down and move. This is not a race, no? So if you manage, it's not at all bad.
What are these cars also like crossing the road and like
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, so crossing the roads, my kids both cycle, they are 14 and 16, they cycle from Talavatu to ACC at 5 a.m. for swimming, and then they keep the bikes and walk all the way to water. So obviously I have trained them, they have seen a lot. Both of me and my wife have taken that call. They call us twice, they forget sometimes, tell that they move. But our advice to them is always cross from the yellow crossing. So just because there is, let's say, Devi Balika Mandi is a risk, riding bike, and mapped all these routes, especially for cycling Sunday, you know, Maramastan, you know, car, you know, Devi Balika Junction. Right, Devi Balika Junction, just come like this. Some kind of Borala, then Golf Cup paddling, you know, Kanatta paddling, you know, killing Yana. Kanatta paddling, Rajagiri, some of them are trying to go towards Kotaro. That's an absolute blind spot. So you have to map your route and see where do I take extra precaution. This is a decision to take. This is not fun right around your home. So then what we do, we come all the way. Statue of we go, and from the crossing line you cross. Put your hand up and cross. Then you're on the other side, and you nicely umbrella. You have to be prepared to walk. This is not just cycling. Don't take unnecessary badala. So always use the pedestrian benefits and the benefit of a cycle.
I think that happens
So
a lot
we have
when you drive.
hybrid.
Yeah. Your safety first.
What is it? Traffic law?
Sorry?
Traffic law is
The traffic law, but all laws have to be met. I mean, color lights, you have to, obviously.
So color light, you have to get down and
No. You can. Some of us have the color light stop where right through. There is no requirement.
you know it.
No, you have to stop at the color light, like every vehicle.
No, I mean when you're crossing,
So how do you think? Then you are a pedestrian and you are pushing the bike.
you have to push your car.
Yeah, you don't ride it. Oh, එහෙම කරන්න එපා. නෑ, ඒක ගොඩක් කරනවා. මම ඒක කරන්න එපා. මම ඒක කරන්නේ උදේ පාන්දර වෙද්දාස් හෝටල් එකේ
but the expansion they have traffic.
I know. So get down and ride. How to get confidence? Some guys won't get off the bike. Like guy coming bike extra bike control they can burn you off, they can do. So how to get? මතකනේ පොඩි කාලේ අපි රෝද උස්සගෙන යන්නේ මට. ඒ වුණාම ඉතින් අපි පාර යන්නේ අපේ පාර කියලා. We are part of we are the vehicle. Tuck දාලා යනවා. We are moving faster than average Colombo speed on a car is what 22 kilometers per hour. We are lot faster. What a car again maybe a bit technical. We'll go before.
Ah, really?
Yeah, 3.5 hours.
Because of the traffic.
You are stuck behind nowadays and frustrated and stressed. Bus speed bus. Every town, you know, we are moving. Average we'll do because we are competitive. 30 kilometers, 35, fast, not fast.
To be fit enough to do that.
Yeah. So even if you're not fit, when I start at 6:30 in the morning, let's say Parliament Road, you have no chance. At 22 kilometers, you can ride, she can ride, you don't care. You will be in Borala before anybody else. And we take the payments.
Is it okay?
It's not okay ideally, but then the payments are not used for its purpose. So cyclists are the karate or payments are total tar not kill. But put getting so actually arrested was because what happened? I mean, if there are but we will not do that to so I come or parliament block mummy and Naga started buy so they all are stuck and we are moving.